the kid of Sylvester? Did Sylvester have a kid?
Yeah, okay, so Sylvester did have a son. There was no Mrs. Sylvester. We don't know where he came from. But do we really know where Huey, Dewey, and Louie came from with Donald?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So for some reason, there was a trend in cartoons. Let's give them an offspring, and let's not discuss where they came from. So Sylvester Jr. Would see a kangaroo, and he would think it's a giant mouse. And he'd say, "Oh, Father, look, it's a giant mouse. Go get him, Pop."
And Speedy Gonzales, he was cool. He was cool, dude.
Gonzales, he touched his mouth and all Mexico. All right, I'm gonna eat.
But you would do these voices, and then you do something like Luke Skywalker. That's where people are like, how can he do Luke Skywalker? There's a Luke Skywalker, but
yeah. So
there's a whole thing behind that.
So I got this audition for a game years ago to voice Luke Skywalker. And I called my agent and I said, I can't do Mark Hamill. And she said, you want to pass? I said, I do. And so she called the producer that I was going to pass, and the producer called her back and said, no, we want him to read. And I said, okay. And I go into the audition and I said, guys, I can't do Mark Hamill. And they said, don't do Mark Hamill. Do Luke Skywalker. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they heard something in my voice that was very much like Mark. And, you know, Luke Skywalker in the very first film, A New Hope, he's kind of a whiny guy, and he just had this attitude, like he was a young kid. And then he gets the Force, and he gets a little bit more centered, a little more grounded. But I will tell you, when I booked it, I called my agent, and I said, before you accept the job, call Mark Hamill's agent and find out what's going down. Because if it was a contract dispute or he didn't know this was going on, I would never take a job from another actor. So she called his agent.
Smart.
He didn't want it at the time, and so that's why I got the job.
Oh, very smart and very kind for you to do that. A lot of people don't do that. They just take it.
Voice actors do. Yeah, I will tell you, we're a very respectful, ethical group. It's very rare to find somebody that will just, behind somebody's back or without a phone call, just do a job.
I absolutely agree. And what a nice, that's refreshing. So thank you for that. Speaking of, is now like, you're like one of the guys who selects movies for the Academy Awards. Is that right?
I'm a member of the Motion Picture Academy, and one of your jobs is to watch 1,005 films and recognize excellence for the Oscars. It's an honor. It's delightful. I love doing it.
How did you get into that? Do they invite you or
Yeah.
So you were invited.
You have to be invited. You have to be sponsored by 2 members, and then the Board of Governors have to select you. And I will tell you, I am the only member, as far as I know, I'm the only member of the Motion Picture Academy who was invited solely based on voiceover credits, voices for films, because everybody else is an on-camera actor.
That's great. Congratulations. What an honor.
Yeah, I was lucky because I was on the Board of Governors at the TV Academy for about 10 years, and for about 5 years, my co-governor was Lily Tomlin. And Lily was one of my sponsors at the Motion Picture Academy, and she got Whoopi Goldberg to be my other sponsor. Not bad.
That's not bad at all. Let me ask you something. Where was it? What academy? What show was it that Will punched?
Oh, that was the Oscars a couple years ago.
What did you think of that?
Atrocious.
How do you think they handled it?
Well, it
terribly.
It was just, you know, and the Academy, they did the right thing. I think he's banned for 10 years from appearing at any Academy event. I don't care what somebody says. There is absolutely no excuse for violence.
Come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Chris was just, such a nice guy, and he wasn't expecting that. He thought he was going to be doing something else.
Who would be expecting that? And Chris was a gentleman and continued with the show. Talk about improvisation. It's a live show. He continued with the show. No,
Kudos to Chris.
Will Smith he embarrassed himself. He humiliated himself, and he got what he deserved. I was angry with the crowd for standing up and applauding when he won the Oscar. Yes, he deserved the Oscar for that film, but he tainted the Oscars. He tainted his own honor. And you know what? Onward. That'll never happen again. I can guarantee that'll never happen again.
Yeah, I bet you're right about that. But man, they should have been taken out.
I agree.
Right after 100%. That happened.
Agree 100%. And by the way, had it been a total stranger who ran on stage and slapped,
they would have. Yeah.
They would have been in jail.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man. Well, we are talking with Bob Bergen. We got more to talk to him about because this is all good stuff. And I think there's a strike going on. So we'll have to ask him about that real quick. But he's got many more things to talk about. So I hope you'll stick around. Connie Willis here along with Bob Bergen and more. Open lines coming up later, too, on Coast to Coast AM.
They don't understand.